We'll stay with banking. Here out an excerpt of George Cherian's conversation with Chanda Kochhar. She's Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of India's largest private bank, which is ICICI Bank.
I think it is important for us to really use our fundamental strengths to the fullest capability and in fact avoid some of these strengths from turning into challenges. So I think we have a huge opportunity or strength in the form of demographics. Let's make them employable rather than not providing them skill training and not and creating that into a challenge. We have a huge opportunity of actually investing in infrastructure because our country needs infrastructure, and actually investment in infrastructure can provide a multiplier growth to the economy. But if we do not invest, then it's not just a loss of growth, it can actually become a bottleneck to basic core level of growth as well. So what is important for us is to recognize our fundamentals and make sure that we convert each one of them into an opportunity rather than turning them into a challenge.
Now, if there were a wish list you had in terms of what you'd like the government to do, what would they be?
Well, if I talk of here and now, as I said, three things. Clarity on the tax-related issues, clarity on the entire fuel linkage to the power sector, and thirdly, a clear path on fiscal deficit.
Sure, but for the foreign investor, do you believe among the three, it's by far guard that's going to be the most important issue?
I think also, the path that the country is going to take on fiscal deficit, etc., is also going to be an issue. And I think also, the whole approach towards projects, clearances, etc., makes a lot of difference even to foreign investors, because everybody is looking for that signal to say, are we back in action? Are we back into decision making, and are we churning the economy back into growth? So I think all three are pretty important for even the foreign investors.
Now, just focusing on your industry, the banking industry, what do you believe in the current environment the biggest challenges for you are going to be?
First of all, I think even in the current environment, we have to remember that the Indian banking industry actually has some very stable fundamental strengths, whether it's the quality of capital, the capital adequacy, the leverage ratios, the broad credit quality. I think all those are actually very fundamental strengths that the banking industry has. But the systemic credit growth rate, well, it's 17-18%, much lower than the 24-25% that one would have aspired for, but I think it's still a stable level of growth. The quality of assets actually on the retail side is very stable. On the corporate side depends on company to company and project to project. So I would say that these are some of those continuing opportunities that the sector has. But what is most important for the banking sector in terms of challenges today is to say that the environment is very volatile, and therefore every banker needs to kind of balance growth, profitability and risk management to the optimum, and continue to look at this balancing because the parameters keep changing as the environment is volatile. This is the time you need to really monitor your accounts very closely. This is the time that you need to monitor your liquidity situations very closely, because liquidity does not only mean availability or non-availability of money, it means how best you raise your funds at the lowest cost, because that actually determines your NIM. This is the time that you actually bring about a whole lot of control on your cost structures, because the revenues may not grow as fast as normally the costs have tendencies to grow. So I think this is basically a time to really calibrate your growth rate in accordance with the environment and focus a lot on those internal matrices of credit quality, operating costs, quality of your funding, cost of funding and so on.
Okay, that's the word coming in from Chanda Kochhar of ICICI Bank.